from the ghetto youth, being a former addict, to drug, to now somebody who is the official brand ambassador, of the drug law enforcement agency, the Gambia. I think it's quite interesting, and this means that being an addict as of now, you could change, and then for a better person, like more than Muhammad is right now. So, like, for your own understanding, Mr. Megan, what do you think are the main causes of drug abuse in the Gambia and in Africa? But now let's make it specific in the Gambia in particular.
Yes, one I know, family disorder is part of it, because we know a lot of people are facing family stress and situations. I would say, I will not say that's the contributing top factor, but it's part of it, because not everybody can cope stress. Not everybody they are good at stress management, anger management. So, and also peer influence is another huge contributing factor. We all know it in Gambia. Some of us, we use it through our school environment, through the friends that we visit, the activity program that we engage ourselves. Also, I would say entertainment centers. There are certain people, they started using it at clubs. Some of them are at the bars, some of them by even their own girlfriends. Let's say they are loved ones, because the people that you move with, I would say, they define the results of your future. So, and then if you decide to move with, like if you are a footballer, you are moving with smokers, automatically it tells that you can be a smoker at any time.
Of course.
If you, what they call in the ghetto language, galistro, like somebody who loves gas. If you are a galis, somebody who loves gas, and you are humanizer, let's say you are humanizer, and then you want to, you are moving with a humanizer, automatically you become a humanizer. So,
like the Englishman will say, so you're a friend, then I will
tell you who you are. So these are just the basics. Then to let's say the majority in the Gambia here, not outside. This is what causes.
Yeah, but some would argue that, at times, it's like family pressure does not work for a person to be engaged in drug addiction or other things. Some would tell you, like, employment is also a factor. So,
and also, before even coming to that, let's say genetics, when it comes to genetic studies, it says 40% or 60% of people who experience drug addictions or drug-related things from their family members, like from their generations. We don't say you inherit it, but from genetic studies it says 40 or 60% of people who came from a family background of drug abuse normally becomes a substance use disorder. So I'm coming to the genetic sides.
Okay. So if you say a substance uses, I don't know.
If your father has been using cocaine, your mother comes and use cocaine, you are a pregnant child, you come and use cocaine, it comes from there. Sometimes, I'm telling you, through the genetics. That they many tell you, don't you side of Kodona, Mama, they gonna mama, Satekat Law. They gonna mama, Serin Law. You so it applies to drug. So the contributing factor also, economic crisis, economic tsunami is one of it. Because as a nation, if young people do not have the privileges or the opportunities to engage themselves or to portray their potential, it's also one of the contributing factors. But for me, such things, I don't take it as an excuse. We all face the economic situations. But today, you become the journalist. Did you involve yourself in drugs? No. Absolutely. So I know it's part of it, because it causes due to, because not everybody can manage the situations and the system of the country. We know that, but it's not an excuse. But let's say the contributing factor, the major contributing factor, we know that peer influence is the key. To tell you the reality, is the key. Because if I don't want to smoke, I will not smoke. You make the decisions. Even if we are going to eat groundnut pap every day, it doesn't make me to use drug. So the decisions lies on you. There are a lot of young people, they are going serious trauma and stress, but still they are managing their life. And they are not messing up. So if you want to speak, you also have to bring the positive side and you balance it with the negative side. So if you want, this is the cause of it, but it's not the contributing major factor. You must look at other areas as well. I said some of us from, let's say, advanced childhood experience. That is ACEs. Some started using it because of ACEs. Like myself. Let's say a parentless child, an orphanage. They can all involve in this. Somebody that was raped can even becomes a drug addict, and you become stressed from that, and then you started vandalizing your feelings, you know, taking alcohol, using that because you might experience a trauma since you were a child, and you are going through that, and you feel even shy. You know, we all know the stigma in our society. And people started stigmatizing you. So you don't have somebody to discuss your problems or your mental conditions, your mental health to you. And let's say, they said mental conditions is very related to substance use disorder. And many people in this country, we are suffering from mental disorder. Whether you dress like a star or you dress like an imam, this conditions is going seriously in this country. Stress, because when we talk about mental health, it doesn't mean kusani tankambi, kusani dalami, no, that's what it is.
Some are sitting down.
Yes,
they are automatically.
but they are suffering from mental health, and this is what we have to understand. This is a serious matter. It's a serious case, and it's affecting many people, not only young people, but even adults.
Okay, critics also say that, I mean, at times, the access of this drug, or I mean, accessing drug in this country, because it is believed that generally that most of the drugs, I mean, that are taken in the Gambia, or these are serious drugs, I mean, are not obtained in the Gambia. They are shipped from other places to the Gambia. So at times they will say that is a contributing factor, because when these drugs are seen and stopped not to be coming into the Gambia, the boys will not have access to it. So, as an ambassador of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency of the Gambia, what do you have to say about it?
Yes, access to substance is one of them. Access to substance, I totally agree. And also prescribed medication that can be misused, such as opioids and stimulants. That is very right. Prescribed medications that can be misused can also cause people using it. Because if a medication is being prescribed for you to use it as prescribed by your medical provider, and then you overuse it, it means you are overdosing yourself. And we know we have to, this is not only a matter of illicit drugs, but the prescribed ones can also cause addiction. So this is what I want people to understand, because we are talking about addiction. And now access to substance is another root factor, is another contributing factor. One thing, I will not take it as an excuse, but in the entire world, there is no country that can tell you that we can stop the access, the availability of drugs in our country. We can stop it totally. You can minimize it, but you want to say you stop it. That is even America, even UK, so, even Swiss.
What is the state of this country?
The state of this country, I feel, as the official brand ambassador of the agencies, I have my limits, but also I feel for them they also have, they also need help, because if they are doing the job with, you know, when it comes to drugs, it's very risky. For them, even doing the job is even risky for them. Are you seeing any protective measures that they have been given to the Drug Law Enforcement Agency for them to be able to execute their job? It's not there. Even patrol vehicle is a problem for them to reach certain locations or certain places. And knows that not every drug law enforcement agency in any country also, they have the entire mandate to control. There are law enforcements, remember that. But there are other areas also that you know, they also have a contributing factor to make sure that these drugs are coming into the country. They are not the one telling the citizens to bring these drugs in the country. They don't know that these drugs are destructive. They are very harmful. They know it. How many people import drugs in this country? It's not the fault of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Yes, it's their mandate for them to enforce those laws. But do they have all these required equipment to make sure that these are stopped? You can even transport drug through the, by air. You can even transport drug by sea. Do the Drug Law Enforcement Agency have patrol boats to make sure that they are partnering with the Gambian Navy to make sure that, I'm telling you, constant patrol at sea to make sure that these things are stopped? You can even use the sea and you enter in the Gambia and you bring anything that you want. These people, they are not having the equipment. If your patrol vehicles are not enough, do you think that you'll be having the patrol sea boats to go on board to say that you are going for security measures or security checkups? Yes. So all these things are important things that the central government and the Minister of Interior, they have to look at and make sure that these people are helped based on this. And also, technology now is growing, is advancing. You can also use technology to trace all these trafficking. So do the drug law enforcement agency have all these measures? They don't have all this technology to do it. They are just using their experience and also using information to trace this drug trafficking. And that's not enough. And it's even risky for them, because you can be killed.
Okay, to some extent that, I mean, there's some critics who tell you that at times, I mean, some officials of the drug law enforcement agency, the individuals who are involved in, I mean, the dealing of, I mean, these drugs, such as, I mean, marijuana and other things. So being an ambassador, how do you see that particular, I mean...
for me, I don't like to talk about allegations. I always like to talk about proofs. We have been hearing all these things from everywhere. Every day, I think on TV, you are hearing people saying Adam Barrow is corrupt, even whether they have evidence or not. So it's nature to say that a police officer is corrupt. It's nature to the eyes of the people. And even, let me tell you, this is all over the world. Not all journalists are good journalists. Not all good cops are good cops. That is important. Even in your own house, everybody is not okay. So it's nature. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I'm telling you the fact. If they say the drug law enforcement agency, they are one of the people importing drugs in this country, I would be surprised. I would be really, really surprised.
But in the case that if majority of the citizens or like that say that, so don't you think like there's something fishy somewhere else? Or like
yes, something might be fishy. It's not I am being very defensive to the drug law enforcement agency, no. But sometimes it's good to look at where the problem is, and then we find the solutions for that. Not those that are trying to solve the problems. They are not the problems. We are the problems as Gambians, because we are the one causing this problem. So those that are there to make sure that they will protect, or they will make sure that the law is being enforced, they will turn to become the victim. So where is the central government? For me, to myself, where is the central government to make sure that there is a lot of engagements being done? We have the Gambia Port Authority. We have the sea. All these are exit route, free exit route that you can bring inside. You can import drugs in, or it can be an exit for drugs to enter in the country. You go to Tangi, go to other places. For me, I've been doing my site visits. You will know that there is no security when it comes to stop drugs in this country, because the equipments are not there. Technology is not there, and government need to work on technology and equipments.
So you are saying those are key.
Those are keys that we have to do.
Yes. I mean, talking about to mitigate.
Yes, to mitigate. Yes. Before it's just like you building a hospital and you don't have medicines, or you make sure that doctors are there. You staff doctors, you staff nurses, and there are no medical equipment. Well, I don't you know the pharmacy. So kind of patients you do it. And not only that, we should also remember there are certain young people, they sell drugs in their house, and their parents are even encouraging that.
So parental influence
is also part of it. Then you have to endorse. This is the fact. Not only peer influence, but then you have to endorse. Your son uncle so they get that in your life, you know, cigarette. You are getting a book. I'm not your they through the family relatives. That's where they started smoking. You know, they send Papa in the urine to go and buy a cigarette. Not even peer influence. I'm telling you, all these issues, these are contributing factor to this. You are inside your house, your mom knows you are selling, your father knows you are selling. Because that's where you buy the bag of rice. And you are also giving them.
Still now bouncing back to the unemployment.
Yes, so why
do you think, as as a brand ambassador, why do you think the parents or other relevant authorities are not complaining? Like, for example, you selling, in your compound, and you know your parent is there, and then they know you are selling, but they are not complaining because that's where they get their source of living from. So at times they'll tell you there's no employment, so this is what they have to venture into.
It's not an excuse. There is no employment. For me, I was taking that excuse, but it's a wrong excuse. What is there is no employment? Are we better than other people that are learning skills in this country? We are not better than them. I think we have to walk away from our egos and from our prides. We have to engage in skills. This is the fact that this is the truth. Boy, we want to be sona. Can we go buy the and we might change. Look at my exhibit. The man get on the digger board. Man get a study. Man get a digger board. Man get a soil. They don't know another police. I think some of them are watching. No another police. Seriously, sir. Seriously, look at my man father mom. I take my fee. Give my young man. So it's not an excuse. Change has to start from you. Let me tell you the fact. Even if the government, example, let me take an example. Yes, even if they have to contribute to all these developmental factors. But you, if you don't want to change, brother, even if you Imam Cherno, we football every day, who start to was a low big blue. Lan mo da sa ya dila advice di blue. Don't so big blue sa ya sa toka example. Nga nekk ci parent boo xam ne is responsible. Mu la wax suba ngoon gi dee bëccëg te ni la buggee kenn buggeewu la. Su la waxal soo demee si jumaa bi kooku di football bi drop sa doo déglu. For change, it has to start from you. You make the decisions of change. Nobody. It's not about dañ ko ñaanal, dañ ko wàcceel kaamil, dañ ko yóbbu si marabu diw. No, it has to start from you. You make the change. You are on your own. You are on your own. You are the I would say you are the control command center of your life. If you don't want to do this, you will not do it. I want to change. Because man still more face more than I'm not so the member son. The challenge, now I'm let me do yours. And young man, can't they were with you. People like us, we might be very lucky that you may tell with you, but might be I am a godsend to people. Y'all prepare a sample of change.
Absolutely.
But it's not the excuse. Okay, Kifa has reached this level, he has stopped this, but my odinko buy, my odinko stop. Logic sinda, jam.
Absolutely.
So the contributing factors to this issue of drug is a nationwide problem. Let me tell you this. It's just like how everybody is facing the expensive of a bag of rice. You know, everybody experience the expensive of a bag of rice because we all eat rice. That's how we should also have the problem solving of drug in this country. As far as we are talking about you never have a problem with drug because one person in the house that is sick by this problem is in more than corona. If I involve everybody, so we have problem out of 10 households in the Gambia. Let's say out of 10, if you enter the 6 compounds, out of the 10 knows that they must have a drug abuse somebody in the house. So and the number is growing very seriously. We have seen it age of 13, 14, grade 7 students. I have even witnessed a grade 5 student. I don't want to mention the name. The grade 6 student, and the boy is telling me that he was smoking Oris. He started smoking Oris 2 years ago. I met the boy at the metro station. Grade 4. Yes, since grade 4. I go fekk si essence suma xarit mu ne boy yow da ki Oris la mo bëgg jënd ma ne ko Oris ma ñëw ma tiital ko ma ne ko police la dama la yóbbu soo waye naa la baala ma ne ko foo jógee mu ne ma suma yaay gunjur xaw ma tànjee dama ne ko liggéey ma ne ko an sa papa mu ne ma dafa liggéey moom dëggu ta papa oncle am la dëkk kuulóoli fii kër sëriñ I have to protect the image of the child and then I have to dama am pressure ko xale bi mu jox ma nomba papa ma call papa mu ñëw papa dafa doon jooy papa mu ne koo doon même bu ko def papa school bi seen la ko faire ba pare papa mu ne every day daf ko dee jox lunch $150 dafa koo jox kon nag kooku am na ne kooku already am na access pour jënd si gerte.
Yeah, you have the money.
So man la te ko yow kañ nga doon mu ne depuis bu ñu defee bundum si la doon di tuur ma ne ko boobu kañ na mu ne ma fekk maa ngi grade 4 so mu ne grade 4 to grade 6 xale bi mu ngi tu Oris.
So balaa ma egg grade 9 moom na pare.
Yes kooku dina dugal si leneen ak leneen. And dama am pour bàyyi ma doon def ma taxaw di def moom bi booy si dañu waaru si essentiel ne ma booy am nga jot de ma ne ko this is my work if I don't stop this today it's going to grow. ñoom faale wuñ te bi ko xam nga benn woon xamuñ jaamuñ ci dugguñ ci so waaye man li ma doon gis si xale bi it was so sad ba pare very intelligent young boy. So it means that we are sitting on a timing bomb. So they youth in la ñoo continuer the country has no future. I will tell you this. And that's the image that I am currently seeing. That if there is no change, and also a contributing effort, Gambia is a sinking boat.
Gambia is a sinking boat if there is no change, that is put in place. Esteemed viewers, if you are just joining us, we're telling you it's Fine TV Gambia, your only viewpoint. And of course, it is your current affairs. So here on Fine TV, and on today, our discussion today, we are discussing on, drug abuse, negative impacts, addiction, and of course, abuse. So, Mr. Mbenga, continuing. Now, how do you think people are addicted? Because you passed through this stage, and now how are people addicted to drugs?
Yes, cause of addictions, I would say, is a very complex condition. Like one of the significant parts, it develops normally. It's a stage. It develops through the brain chemistry, and people have to know that these are changes. And when it comes to illicit substance and then certain activities that affects the brain, we all know that things that you involve, like a process, things that you involve, like me personally, if I want to say, okay, I want to do this. If I don't do this, I will not do this, because the central nervous system is the command center of the brain. And then, once then you started controlling your thoughts and your feelings to certain directions, that's where you start to develop an addiction. Right? To me, even let's say, if you started taking a bed, let's take it from there. I will take it from there, not even from illicits. Or let's say an attire.
Yeah.
You believe that smoke you have already tuned the thoughts.
The concept.
Yes, the concept and the sense, the central nervous system, the feelings. Then when the time for you to consume that attire is not, the availability is not there, and then that's where the brain starts to tells you, to remind the body. Because the brain will start to alert you, the signal will start to come. To alert the body that time is up now, and then the brain start to misbehave. When the brain starts to misbehave, and then the body starts to misbehave. And these are things that I think most of the time causes addictions. And then, let's say, if you say that, I'm stressed, I'm cool, then go jail. This night Lucky Dube don't even smoke cigarette. And he's a musician. We have seen musicians that says, if I don't smoke, I will not be able to face the fans. I will not be able to radically perform. We have seen Akon. He was born in the middle of the ghetto in New Jersey, in US. But Akon never smoked cigarette, even alcohol. He's totally drug free. Likewise, Lucky Dube. So these are, when it comes to controlling your thoughts and your feelings, this is what I want to do, and this is how I want to do it. Even at medical level, there are certain doctors, they have to say, okay, I have to smoke 6 cigarettes before I start my job. And it becomes an addiction for you. Because the level of how you control your thoughts, the CNS, the central nervous system, that how it controls the feelings of the body.
So when you not say,
and then over time, the substance activities changes your, as I said, your brain chemistry. Because it's a process. And then it is growing, which is very, very important. So, and if you don't stop, it keeps triggering. Dafa melni ndox mbuus bo ndox bo amé ni rek nga bu nako so fatul bax bi affaire dafa continuer di tourner. And that's how addiction grows. And another thing is also, it continues to grow when you continue to have access to it. And also when you also continue to be in the environment when the substance is surrounding you. So buye baye dama buga baye. So don't dem ci ghetto bi ci baye. Stop going there. For me, when I stopped, that's where I started losing a lot of friends that use the drugs. As I ball head laugh. So, and when you stop, you will not even see them visiting you anymore. Because when you're too. And that's where you even stay away from it. But the more you get to those that use it, that's the more you, because if you don't have it, one thing about the ghetto is, if you don't have money to smoke, somebody will have money to invite you to smoke.
That's right.
Or to use it. So it means that the availability is always there, whether you have or not, because they know it's vice versa. So much of time so that's the concept everybody have. So it means if you don't have money, you still have access to it. But stop going to the place. change your directions. Your move of approach is very important. Bro, you are your own, you are on your own. You decide.
Okay, so now, moving on to your, agency that you've established in Africa, not only the Gambia, which is named African Drug Free Agency.
African Drug Free Foundation.
Well, yeah, take us through, this formation.
Yes, it's a newly established foundation because before even the idea of the foundation become in place, before I started establishing the foundation, I started this 12 years ago. By then it was in 2011 with the current director of prosecutor, Mr. Abdullah Sise, is currently director of prosecutor at the Drug Law Enforcement Agency. So I started with him and the current PRO, Seidiba. We are visiting radio stations, TV stations. Yes, I was being also used as a case source, like as a victim,
Yeah.
as a reform addict, as a change person. So, and in that it also helped them to make sure that they reach out to the audience and to the people that they want to talk to, that change is possible. So I started from there. I was doing it voluntarily. It was not being, I have never received any payment for this. And people also have to understand, there is nobody that is paying me to do this. I'm not receiving any salary from the agency.
Very important.
I'm not receiving any money from President Barrow, from the Minister of Interior. I've never received any money, even a butut. I am doing this voluntarily. Even I'm doing this, I'm demanding Jamriala. Let people understand that. It's not only I'm representing the agency, I'm representing the Gambia, and people have to understand. And I'm not only fighting this to stop here, or to be minimized here, but also in Africa, because I visited different places in Africa and I raised the same issue. So it means that I have a work to do. Whether the agency is there or is not there, whether the government is there to support me or not, my work continues. And this is why I said I'm doing it for the past 11 to 12 good years. Then in 2023, the Drug Law Enforcement, 2022 if I am right, the Drug Law Enforcement Agency decided to accolade me as the official brand ambassador of the drug of the agency, because they have seen my effort, my contributing development partners that I have been doing with them voluntarily without even asking money. So sometimes you do things at your will, but also when it comes to other stakeholders, it's not a form of a compensation, but also to complement your effort. So they complement my effort and to encourage me and say that then it means you have been representing us willingly, voluntarily, so that it means you are fit to be our brand ambassador. And that's where where I continue to serve humanity, because I'm serving humanity. I'm not a staff of the agency. I'm not receiving any money, any compensation, any allowances. But it is the encouragement that is coming from them, and also it will also help me more to make sure that I have an umbrella body that is also giving me space to go. And definitely for now, I'm seeing them that the encouragement is there, because it also helps their work. Because for them, their work is not only to arrest, but they need people like us to make sure that we involve when it comes to counseling system, when it comes to public sensitizations, when it comes to bringing change. Because I know they're doing the arrest because they are security officers, but they also have a unit that is also working on drug demand reductions. And I'm also partnering with the drug demand reduction department. And these are people who always reach out to schools, reach out to communities, reach out to village developments and other areas like chiefs and stakeholders, to make sure that to talk to them even at family level, to make sure these people are involved in the fight in abating drugs. Because it's not only about to take them to criminalize them or to prison them. No, it's not the case. But it's about bringing change to the society. Because for me, I always say it's a sickness. Substance use disorder, drug abuse is a sickness. And there are other ways that we can use to make sure that we bring them back to the society and we bring them to change. And using it doesn't make you to be a bad person. Using it doesn't make you to be a criminal. And all these things, we have to understand it. This is why last year, during the commemorations of the World Drug Day, the theme of the day was not to stigmatize them in public. So it means that the agency, they are trying to come out with solution solving, than also to see that these people have been always taken to prison to be imprisonment. No, it's not about that. It's about bringing solutions to the table. And that's the way, that's the route I have seen them taking, which is very smart. Although they cannot do everything, for me, partly as a brand ambassador, I will play my part and to be partnering with them. And also I will see all the mitigations that we can take to make sure that we have a rehabilitation center. And also how we can engage the central government, because very soon I will start my study tour. It's going to be a survey. And also including having the study tour planned, I will also engage authorities, especially at government level, the central government, especially the VP. I'm interested in meeting the VP to make sure that we discuss these areas, because I think it's an area that is also concerned, and also we even honor his mantle leadership as the vice president of the Gambia, if we know his mandates and his responsibility. So he's directly with the people. So I believe with the VP, I can work with him in partnership with other stakeholders, and then we reach out to the communities and reach out to those that are addicted, and we look at them as partners. The addicted ones, they are not criminals. I want everybody to understand this. They are not criminals. They are stakeholders. They are partners. And these partners, we need to work with them in order to make sure that we get the change that we want. So, because how many people are using it? They are doctors. You want to tell me those doctors, they are criminals? If you want to look at the boys in the ghettos, they are using it, they are criminals. Then there are doctors that are using it, then they are criminals. There are security men, we know, they use it, they are criminals. Because this is a problem of everybody. You have even people with half-stands, they use it. People with suits, they use it. Even you as a journalist, you might be using it. I'm just giving you a sample. Yes. So it's not about the image. It's about who is involved. And how we can bring on the table a problem-solving matter. People should understand this, not to criminalize them and to stigmatize them. Say bandila, say nankatla, say lila. Doesn't bring change. Islam is about some good law. You want to now see it, utulolu rafetineki. Wala luko dimbele, wala luko data. So Gambians should change their mindset when it comes to approaching certain problems or certain situations in public. Especially, wala ngeen mer daxa ko ke na dina bu ko teki dafa nangam dafa ni tuta rek la fi nekké nan saga rek la fi nekké ngeen daxa ko. You are putting more fire on fire. So these are things we have a problem to solve. And that problem needs to involve everybody, nationwide. Basically, just to cut the long story short.
Interesting. So now, what do you have to say about Kush? Being a very deadly, drug as of now, it is causing a lot of problems in this country to our young boys. So, what do you have to say about Kush?
Kush is something that is not new in the Gambia. It's just that it's now that people started hearing the story from our neighboring countries in Sierra Leone. We heard that they have been digging human bones, using it as a form of creating sulfur. You know, because we all know that it gets through the sulfur, the human bone has a sulfur, and that using it can get you high. Absolutely. And that's where they rely on creating the I don't know how to call it, creating the kush through human bone. But we know that it comes from other types of drugs that is mixed together to use it. Because if you look at the kush that people use here and the kush that they are talking about in Sierra Leone, is quite different. And yes, they use it because it's just like when you have a water, you put juice there, you never call it water anymore. So if you cannot buy this, you say, let me use this to create this. That's where that kush comes from Sierra Leone. And we have seen it turns a lot of young people to become zombies.
Absolutely.
It's happening in the Gambia. I will not speak for Sierra Leone, but I will speak for Gambia. Young people have been using kush in the Gambia for so long. We have seen young lives, very young people. Recently this year, I've observed that 3 to 4 young people at the age of less than even 23, they'll lose their lives. Some of them are even currently going to school in grade 11. You know, it's something very, very definitely very serious and very sad to say. But I think parents have to come out and also to help, because the government cannot do it all, the agency cannot do it all, even the parents cannot do it all. This is a collective responsibility that the entire country should come together and address the situations. And also I will urge not only, let's look at our religious leaders and our traditional elders. We should be also using them to make sure that they talk to these people, organizing community outreach programs, like through the bantabas, through the kafos, and we discuss with these issues to our children, the dangers involved. It's just like when you have your young child that is growing, I don't want to go far. So this is how we should also, for us as fathers, as uncles, as brothers, this is how we should be talking to our younger brothers. discussing with them about these matters and challenges. Also using the imams during their sermons on Fridays, they should also bring in topics like this to address the situations, and also to use churches as well, pastors as well. Because if you are calling people to come to God, you must also make sure that they avoid certain things that stop them to come to God. So I think they should be frequently doing the sermons on drug abuse and the challenges involved in drug abuse, and religiously how God itself disowns or disband the use of anything that's like or accessible. It's a lot of work, but it's going viral, and I've seen definitely they are using it very, very seriously, and it's involved in a lot of societies now. When I say societies, it can be in the events, in the entertainment programs, it can be anywhere, but definitely it's going viral. The use of push now, locally called, I think, Geneva, sorry for using that name.
It's just crazy.
Yes, but it's going viral.
Named after one of our country's greatest,
yes.
athlete. Because some believe that if the moment you, take it in,
you become faster.
You become very faster. So it's sad, like you said.